Hey, it's James speaking. Welcome to it's Tuesday morning, I think, and what I'm going to do today is share a little bit about what we picked up online over the weekend, Easter weekend. This is a little bit of a live webcast that we do for anyone who's a subject matter expert, someone who's just excited about teaching something online. They may have a training site or a course creator, and they're looking for some tips and tricks, things that can help them build their business and teach more people online. So, a couple of things I want to just cover today. Of course, we have to talk about ChatGPT because there's always good stuff happening there. A couple other things I just want to talk about are sort of more AI tools that people who have been considering creating some courses want to consider. And I'm actually going to do a complete course on how to create courses with ChatGPT, which I did for a number of clients recently. We actually, right from start to finish, created a course with ChatGPT, using it to create the content, the syllabus, everything, putting it together, obviously with the client's help. But I'm going to show how to actually do one for ourselves. We'll do a live webcast from start to finish on that one. So stay tuned if you're interested in that kind of stuff. We'll cover that all again in a complete live webcast. What I want to do today is I wanted to go through one of the things that's kind of happening for us normally. Now, if you haven't been on the channel for a while before, we have an agency, which is a done for you service. So if you have a membership site, a training site, you want video editing done, you want your course or membership site marketed, you want website design, anything to do with training sites and building these out, that's what we do in the done for you service at trainingsites.io. Pardon me. So that's done for you. The other one is we have a DIY or do it yourself instructions at teachonline.io. So we've got those two kind of platforms. And one of the things that obviously we spend a lot of time doing is writing email copy for ourselves and also for the clients who want to market their business, their product, and their service. So kind of interesting, the whole dynamic there with writing this copy when it comes to all of the AI tools that are available. Now, there's a couple that I've talked about before. One of them was HelloScribe.ai, which is a really good marketing tool that is structured specifically for people who are trying to put together their big fat claim, to be able to explain what it is that they do, to build out the market that they want. And it's about getting your marketing message put together. The other one I talked about was called HoppyCopy, which is one that is specifically for writing email series. And of course, there's ChatGPT. Now, the interesting thing about these, of course, is that ChatGPT is like the overall, the big package. The other ones that are available that I mentioned are subsections of that kind of messaging or that AI tool. It's like part of it. ChatGPT can be applied to anything. HelloScribe is about marketing messages. HoppyCopy is about email marketing. So they're just kind of small pieces of it. And the question that I'm kind of asking myself right now, and I'm wondering is it better to go and do specific tools or specific AI tools that are unique to a marketing part of your marketing strategy or part of your business building? Or is it better to learn how to use ChatGPT and get good at ChatGPT and apply ChatGPT to all of the parts of your marketing that you need to apply it to? And it's not an easy answer because there are so many choices. One of the things I'm just going to share with you today, I'll actually bring this on. We'll actually go and we'll turn this one on here. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to HoppyCopy. We'll open up the HoppyCopy site here. And one of the things with HoppyCopy, I'm logged in, and one of the things you can do is, for example, when you want to do a lead nurture email, which is an example of something, it guides you through a bunch of steps, and it wants you to kind of take a look and say, okay, what do I need to give it in terms of information in order for it to create some content for me? So in this particular case, you can see they've got some examples in the forms here. You can see my mouse moving. So what's the brand, the product, or service? They got Mixie Masterclass, so you could say it's your brand, or it could be a course that you're selling. Who's the target persona? So who are you want to read this, or who are you sending these email to? Is it someone specific? Like, how specific do you want to get? Do you have that target persona documented? And this is a great example. I mentioned HelloScribe.ai, and that will help you create a target persona. Explain the target persona's problem and concern. HelloScribe helps you do that. And then here's HoppyCopy asking you for that because it's going to help you write some email messages to it. So it's saying, what's the brand, product, or service? Who is it being sold to? What's the big problem that you're solving? How are you solving it? And what do you want this email to do? And then what is the tone like? So for example, is it going to be super professional? Is it going to be casual, luxury, professional? How are you going to do this? And you can kind of see that there's a whole bunch of information that's there for you that you have to fill in before it generates some copy for you. So you look at that and, okay, great, I get that. It's going to create some emails for me. It's going to write specific emails. So the question becomes, if you are going to put something together like that, what happens if you just go and you open up ChatGPT? What happens if you just go and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go and open up my ChatGPT one, and let me just go to this one. Actually, there. We'll just go to ChatGPT. There's an account there, for example. Where's one? I'll just open up one. So there's some prompts. So I was going through on this one here, and I had to give it some prompts, right? 5 more focus on the ability to market your knowledge or create online courses. And so I was just fine tuning, but I was having to give it some prompts, ChatGPT, for it to give me some messages back. And I have to be really good at prompts, or learn how to use prompts, if I want ChatGPT to document a persona, document the problem that my business solves, or showing how, or messaging how you solve it. So there's the marketing material that you want that is normally done by HelloScribe or similar AI tools like that. And then once you have those, you have to be really good in ChatGPT to create some prompts that say, write me a follow-up series of emails that does this, 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 and this based on this information I gave it. So it's like, I don't have to learn specifically about all of the great prompts in the first tools I mentioned, because that tool is actually helping you or guiding you through the prompts. ChatGPT doesn't guide you through the prompts. You've got to figure those out on your own. Now, why am I mentioning this? And here's the thing that jumped out at me. This is something that you might want to think about when you're looking at this, or thinking about which one should I spend some money on, which one should I use. So there's actually a tool, and I don't know what this is, arprm.com. So it's this one right here. You can see my mouse in the upper left-hand corner. It says AIPRM. So you might be watching, what is this all about, this AIPRM? If you look at it, it actually provides, or it's engineering prompts for you. So when we're looking at this, fully SEO optimized article, including FAQs. So instead of you having to use an SEO specific AI tool, this series of prompts are having pre-done prompts for you for marketing materials. So for example, if I want a topic here, copywriting, marketing, productivity, SEO. So I can just go take a look and see what are the pieces that I want to create, or what are some other prompts that someone else has created that makes it a lot easier for me. So keyword generator, for example, and it's got the prompts that are there, and it is someone else that's actually put this together, and someone else who has done the work for you. And this service ties directly into ChatGPT. So the question becomes, is this something that you're going to be able to use just with ChatGPT and not have to get the other tools? And I think my gut's telling me that as much as I like those other tools that are specific to a marketing aspect, I have a feeling that this whole prompt engineering and the ability to create these prompts or leverage the research other people have done with prompts is going to be the way that ends up taking over. Best keyword ideas. And again, these are just prompts that you're going to get the answer on ChatGPT that's generated for it. And top votes, latest updates, they're all here. For an Etsy listing, best keyword ideas. So you can go through this, find the best table, search volume, paid difficulty. Again, this is all work that you normally had to do. It's being done for you using these AI tools. So you look at it and you say, okay, great, which one am I going to use? Am I going to use HoppyCopy that is specific for an email series? Or am I going to go to my ChatGPT and use a tool like this that has prompts already set up for you and just use the ones that people have tested, tried, and work? Don't know. It's going to be an interesting question as we kind of get into this and see what happens over the next little while. And unfortunately, for those smaller companies that are doing the AI tools, I think they're going to have to really kind of up the game to make sure that they don't get lost in that. So just something to consider as you're thinking that through. Kind of the next thing I just want to talk about just for a couple minutes. This is one that is, what's a good way to put this? This is one that is for a marketing question, and it's something that I struggle with personally in our own businesses, but that's unique because of the way ours are structured. But we come from a background, or I come from a background of the WordPress space. So what that means is that our business was built on WordPress sites and the WordPress infrastructure, everything in and around WordPress. Doesn't mean that's the only type of tool that we use, but a lot of our business was based on WordPress, and a lot of it still runs on WordPress. And we have a number of tools that we use that work with WordPress, and we have some other tools that we use that don't work with WordPress. So the question becomes, if we're adding a tool, do we use one that's independent of WordPress and integrate it with our existing business? Or do I try and keep everything in WordPress and not have to worry about that particular piece? So that's kind of interesting to see how that happens. Phone's ringing in the background. I'm not going to listen to it. Should have turned it off earlier. So let's just get rid of that right now. There, all gone. Which is the best one? I'm not really sure. And the big one that we run into is email marketing, lead generation, that whole thing around how do I capture leads? How do I send the emails out? How do I update profiles? Especially when you have a couple businesses, right? So I just mentioned we have a done-for-you business, and we also have the do-it-yourself business. So if I'm going to market to both of those people or both of those groups of individuals, if someone raises my hand and say, I only want to learn how to do it myself, I'm going to send a different set of messages to that individual as opposed to someone who says, look, I don't have time. I don't want to learn it. I just want it done for me. Different set of messages. So how do you keep track, or how do you keep separate those two groups of people? And especially since we have two domain names. And again, this is another question for setting up your business. Do you have one brand and one domain name and try and separate it that way just by saying, here's someone that is on list A, here's someone's on list B? Or do you separate it completely and say, here's website A and website B, and I want to separate it that way, and they have two different domain names, which is a choice that we made, which is two separate domains. So do I have one email marketing system and CRM and use it specifically on multiple businesses or multiple sites? Or do I have a CRM, email marketing automation, and I keep it individual, separate from each other on each domain? So having said that, this is the kind of tools that we have to have in place, not only for ourselves, for our customers, and it's hard to decide which one is the best one for you. And I'll give you an example of where we run into trouble and how this might help you. We're a white label reseller for ActiveCampaign, which is a really, really awesome tool for CRM, email marketing, automation, and managing that customer journey through your business. And that is a software as a service. So that's a hosted service that you log into that has nothing specifically done with WordPress other than the fact that you can integrate WordPress content into ActiveCampaign. The nice thing with ActiveCampaign, of course, is that if I have one business with one domain and one kind of market, I can have one ActiveCampaign account that manages that separately from another website with another list of people and another complete kind of business. And even the messages will come from the appropriate business. So if I set up one for website A and domain A, any email messages, any of the forms, anything that I do will be specific to that website A. On the other hand, if I do the same thing on website B, it's exactly the same on website B. Emails come from it, forms are all set up, so they're independent, but for me as a site owner, I only have one place to log in to manage it all right within ActiveCampaign. Now, there's a number of other ones that do that. ActiveCampaign is just the one that we use, and we have a white label version. And what that means to you is that we sell and manage at the exact same price as ActiveCampaign, but we manage and take care of things like the automations and the email marketing series and writing content for people. Same price to you, but we just provide some extra services bundled into that. So that's one thing to do. The other one is we use a WordPress specific tool, and the one that we're using that really, really happy with is called Fluent CRM. And the interesting thing with Fluent CRM is it is part or a plugin for your WordPress site. So that means if you want to work on your CRM, your emails, you log into your WordPress site exactly the same as you would if you were, adding a blog post. But you use Fluent CRM specifically for each domain. So the question becomes, if I have domain website A, I have Fluent CRM on website A, what do I do if I've got website B? Do I put another copy of Fluent CRM and I keep that separate from each other, but how do I keep the users together? And if I have two websites, I have to log in one website to manage the customer details on that one and back and forth. So it can get kind of cumbersome. And both of these tools are available to you, but it's really a business decision on how you have your business set up that kind of guides you towards one of those other solutions. Now, here's what we're doing specifically, and something I want to share with you is that we have the done for you service, and we have a paid do it yourself as well as a free do it yourself. So what we're doing with all our paid services is we're actually including ActiveCampaign accounts for free right directly in that service. So if you're using one of our done for you services, we include an ActiveCampaign account. We're also now including a Fluent CRM account. So if you're looking for email marketing, you want to do automations, you want to have a CRM and understand everything about what your customers purchasing and on your website and what emails they're getting and how to interact with your WordPress site and or any other site, you now have the option to pick between the Fluent CRM tool or the ActiveCampaign tool as part of your paid service. So they're all available, but before you do that, you're going to have to sit down and think about what is the best way for me to structure which way I want to put this in. Do I want to keep them separate? Do I want to put them all in one place? And the other thing just to think about in this, and this is something, again, that we struggle with, and there's no easy answer to this, is that stuff changes on your WordPress site and in the WordPress community, and it changes in the software as a service or the email marketing service. And there's always lots of different options available. And the thing is, you kind of got to pick one and stick with it. And we get mucked up all the time because we're always testing stuff and go, oh, wow, that's kind of neat. Maybe we can use that one instead. Should we use that one instead? Probably not. We shouldn't use that one at all. It's gets you kind of unfocused. We have to learn about it. We play around with it, see how it applies in a lot of businesses. But for you, it's like pick one, get into it, get using it, and do your best to keep with it. And in the long term, that's the best way that we found for the clients that do stick with one and don't get distracted is you get far more effective in terms of guiding the customer through that journey that is your business. So those are a couple things I just want to talk about today is this whole notion of ChatGPT and which tools are the best or not best. The other thing is just keeping focused on using the appropriate tools for the platform that you're in and understanding that there is no right choices for you in the long term. Well, probably there is in the long term, but in the short term, there's all sorts of people that do something a little bit differently, a little bit better, or a little bit worse. There's pros and cons to every system, but try and fit one that fits your business model in the big picture, not just a standalone item that you're looking at when you're looking at the features of a product and what's going on. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop there. Don't even know how long I was chatting. Let me just look here. How long were you going? I was going long enough, 21 minutes. Sometimes I get on these little rants. Who knows how long they'll go? I have notes in front of me as to what I want to cover. There's no notes as to what I want to say during I'm covering them. Those are the two things that I wanted today. So we'll leave it at that. I'll begin tomorrow. Tomorrow's we have our Wednesday open classroom. If you have questions, make sure to register for those ones. We answer your live questions when it comes to training sites, membership sites, and teaching online. All the different tools and things that are appropriate or needed to do that, to build that business. And then during the mornings on the weekdays, just a little rant going over some of the things that we picked up. So if you do have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments before. I'll mention any of the links of the tools that we mentioned today, and we'll go from there. This is James Maduke speaking from trainingsites.io and teachonline.io. I hope you have a wonderful week. Talk soon. Take care. Expect the best.